Hey, guess who forgot to keep an eye on the time because he got too absorbed in his game, Far Cry New Dawn? This guy. Hey, who's already in the chat? Luke, Megaleech, how's it going? I've been enjoying this blood orange juice I got. I downloaded the COVID. No. The government surveillance app? No, I haven't. I feel like it's gotten hard to talk about this without sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but it's a fucking terrible idea. Like, it isn't going to work. These people have failed repeatedly at technology. They're utterly incompetent. And installing a government tracking device on your phone is just fucking ridiculous. People's justifications for it are so fucking vapid and disconnected from reality. Oh, I'm trying to help. That's not going to help. Oh, if it helps one person, it's worth it. Yeah, but what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? You know, if the government tells you to slam your dick in a car door repeatedly to help, you know, you're going to do that? It's like I said, it's based on their track record. It's not based on paranoia. It's based on actually solid, repeated evidence on two fronts. One, they're incompetent. Absolutely incompetent. They cannot be trusted to successfully implement any technology. They cannot be trusted to keep your data safe. They're absolutely incompetent. Second, they have a real fucking bad record with surveillance and using private data punitively. They've done it again and again and again and again. They are utterly incompetent. They are utterly untrustworthy. And I've got no fucking time for anyone who downplays either of those things, because both of those things are really fucking serious. You know, and again, when I talk about fucking vapid comments, people like the head of the trade unions going, I assume they're tracking me all the time anyway, so why not? Like, fuck off. This is explicitly encouraging them to track you. And yes, again, we know from experience this government will shamelessly do warrantless wiretaps on people, will shamelessly get a hold of information that you thought was private, and it's private until they want, but actually consciously installing and authorizing a government surveillance device, fuck no. There are, I mean, you know, you're giving it to Peter Dutton, basically. You are saying to Peter Dutton, hey, please just surveil me constantly and use it to fuck me up if and when it suits you. If you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to worry about. You see, the government's idea of wrong, this particular government, and not limited to this government, but absolutely, definitely this specific government and I have a very different opinion of wrong. And they've shown repeatedly and shamelessly they will abuse their power to go after people they want, whether it was shipping all someone's identifying information to the media because they were making a noise about the since declared illegal robo-debt. It's halfway between saying robo-debt and robocop. The robo-debt fiasco from Centrelink. They just tried to destroy someone who was exposing how fucking evil the robo-debt scheme was. There's Witness X, the guy who basically testified, hey, the government absolutely cheated in their negotiations with Timor-Leste and mineral rights and gas rights in the Timor Sea. And their reaction to being exposed for, criminally spying on a sovereign government to advance their position was to charge the whistleblower with, 500 years worth of jail time. And I mean, Peter Peter fucking Dutton. Who the fuck needs to know more than that? Peter fucking Dutton. It's ridiculous. So no, I have not and will not download the government's surveillance application. And I think it's a really bad idea for anyone to do it because it won't work. They're incompetent and they are absolutely untrustworthy. So fuck that noise is what I say to letting this bunch of fucking wankers be surveilling me. And it's just, they lie, they change their story. And they say, oh, the police won't ever be allowed to access it. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. The parameters of what this application does will change as and when they have a whim to change the parameters of the first thing is like they were basically making it explicit that they would mandate the installation of this app if enough people didn't do it voluntarily. And then when they got the big lash on that, they went, oh, no, we won't. We never said that. And yes, Kirsten, I am definitely, after warming up for a bit, maybe in about half an hour, gonna try the Tiny Bear. Kirsten, I am so impressed with how quickly this arrived. I was seriously prepared to wait for another week. Everyone's been saying mail and deliveries and whatnot are really slow at the moment. Was it on Thursday or Friday? I think it was like only Thursday or Friday I ordered this. And it's here. Very impressed. Very impressed with how quick it got here. Very cute packaging too. So, kudos to Tiny Bear and their courier for getting that here quickly. Gecko, how's it going, buddy? Look, Strictly Sega, this thing about, I heard you give more information about Woody's reward card. It doesn't fucking track you, okay? And there is a fucking difference. And I also actually don't use a Woolies card for that reason, actually. A Woolies card, and people say, oh, you give more information to Facebook and Twitter. Get fucked. They aren't the government. They can't prosecute me. And they get what I allow them, not that fucking this absolutely untrustworthy government. Why didn't they incorporate COVID app in the Centrelink app? Well, they fucked up the Centrelink app as well, of course. But of course, then they only get people who are on Centrelink, which actually is admittedly a lot more people than it was a couple months ago. So, yeah, Kirsten, I was so stunned by it. I just feel compelled to check how many days do I have to go back in my mail to get a confirmation of my order. Send all. Yes. So they notified me it was on the way and it arrived the same day. Like I got a notification this morning saying it's on the way. And I thought, yeah, okay, what does that mean? And they were saying, allow 4 to 7 business days, like don't complain. Yeah, April 26th. That's mad. Tiny Bear awaiting shipment. Yeah, okay. 24th. So Friday. I ordered this on Friday and it arrived today. That's astounding. Gecko, you're installing SUSE Linux. I'm going to spare hard drive for shits and giggles. You nerd. So they've basically got this order, packed it on the weekend, organized for a courier, I think must have been to pick it up on the weekend, and they've delivered it today. Like this morning they confirmed, oh yeah, it's on its way, and this afternoon it got here. Absolutely amazing. I only ordered that on Friday night. And it's arrived Monday afternoon. That's wild. The number of people I've seen online complaining like, oh, post is taking forever. This is taking forever. And I got the gin really quickly. So for Netflix party, I don't think so. No. I find it too stressful, the idea of trying to, another night I might be in the mood for it. But I didn't want to do it. Luke, how far did it have to travel? Good question. I thought it was from Western Australia. So the three I've got, the Doctor, the Gypsy, and the Sailor. The Doctor is a herbaceous gin, strong notes from fresh basil, Vietnamese mint, sage and oil, floral notes from hibiscus, with woody sweet aftertones from cinnamon. Subtle juniper sweetness blends it all together. Best served with a sweet garnish to bring out the floral notes. It's an interesting one. Recommendation: splash of tonic with apple, because floral notes, fresh dill, basil or mint, herbal notes, citrus, refreshing G&T. There you go. And it's 42% alcohol. The Gypsy, a spice-driven gin. There you go. So the Doctor is herbaceous and floral. Gypsy is a spice-driven gin with pungent juniper base, flavored by 4 exotic peppers, as well as cardamom, clove, cumin, fresh citrus notes from added lemon and lime, with a crisp finish from added cucumber. Best served with any citrus, cucumber, capsicum, strawberry, or fresh ginger beer. Recommending a splash of tonic with cucumber to cool the spice, clove, capsicum, or garlic warm the spice. So that's a spicy one. The Gypsy's spicy. Oh, God, Kirsten. Australia Post lost 38 orders of yours. You delivered from Knox. God damn. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Okay, you've got a hard drive of questionable reliability. It's from a Dish Network hopper that you picked up from side of the... Oh, so you're just nerding it up, seeing what you can do. I love it. And then the Sailor is a navy rum, overproof, bold navy with powerful punch of juniper, tart notes from full fresh oranges, and spice from cardamom and clove. Best served as a slow sipper with a slice of orange and a clove. Powerful profile, well suited for cocktails. Recommendation: splash of tonic, orange and clove, extra warmth, spice and ginger, extra kick. So I'm just going to try a sip of each of these tonight, and I think I'll actually put it next to Tanqueray. And then later in the week, I'll actually make cocktails. And because Mrs. Angry is a gin drinker, I'll get her to taste them as well. Yeah, they call this. Bit of synesthesia going on there. They're always, but people also refer to flavors as being bright, which is a visual thing, not a taste thing. So people are always trying to, I guess, they're trying to evoke feelings when they describe flavors rather than just give it a completely mundane description. They're trying to sort of evoke feelings and emotions by talking about notes and brightness and that sort of thing. Gecko's doing a bit of a scavenger venture from the other night. Didn't happen because they cleaned it up and fixed it. Oh, no. There you go. Justin, you did get the public holiday in the ACT. Did not get it here in Victoria. And as my understanding, didn't get it in New South Wales either. Varied from state to state, whether it was a public holiday or not. Yes, Anzac Day is one of those days because the day itself is special. It's nothing so frivolous as a public holiday. It's a special moment. And so if it's not on a weekday, they don't always make it a public holiday. As opposed to basically every other public holiday. Like if Christmas falls on a weekend, you get a public holiday the following work day, which of course leads to a strange circumstance with people who normally work weekends, like hospitality, retail, etc. Their bosses try and argue they shouldn't have to pay penalty rates on Christmas Day because they have to pay it on the following Monday, which just goes to show bosses are pieces of shit. Hello, Annette. Hi, how are you? Luke, you didn't get the public holiday either in South Australia? Justin, that would be weird. A public holiday in the ACT, if you work in the ACT, but you live in New South Wales, which is, of course, quite easy to do, the ACT being as small as it is and being completely surrounded by New South Wales. But that's the way it goes. So if I'm going to taste these gins, this is such a strong flavor. I'm going to have to rinse my mouth out with water or something. Cleanse my palate. Get the proper flavor from the gins. You picked up an LED street lamp because a car knocked the whole pole over. I love that you're going around scavenging electronics and trying to make them work, seeing what you can do with them. Be a very useful person to have in the zombie apocalypse. Oh, so after Jim makes me talking about the gins. They are fancy gins. These are the ones that Kirsten talked me into ordering last Friday night, and they arrived already from Tint Bear Distillery. 3 very different, very unique gins. Quite looking forward to trying them. So they're 42% alcohol, 43%, and 58%. Man, that Navy strength one is damn serious. They get cute packaging. Like, I like that box. It's like the Doctor, and there's a Dr. Bear. Enjoy irresponsibly. Can't I enjoy it irresponsibly? From Knoxfield. Okay, so this is actually local. For some reason, I thought it was possibly coming from as far away as Western Australia, but it's actually Victorian, which I guess is how they got it to me so quickly. So it's the Doctor and the Gypsy. The Gypsy. It's a Gypsy Bear, which is a bit shifty, really, because that is, of course, a slur for the Romany people. Or if you're in Ireland or the UK, it's actually a more a subset of the Irish that's more polite to call travellers now. And the sailor, a sailor bear. And I'm not saying the sailor bear looks like a gay icon, but the sailor bear looks like a gay icon. The sailor, Navy strength. Don't know that you, please enjoy responsibly. Don't know that you can enjoy Navy strength gin responsibly. I think by its very nature, it's irresponsible, really. That's why I was confused, Kirsten. The Upshot bourbon was the one from West Australia. Well, it'll be a while before I get a new bourbon because I've got quite a bit. Seriously, I've got to stop buying booze. These will be my last purchase until I run out of something. And I think the things, things I'm most likely to run out of is the Maid and I Vermouth. But the last bottle lasted me 2 months. So probably won't run out for 2 months. Aperol or the Dolan Bitter. I might start using the Aperol. How much is in the Aperol bottle? I'm just going to check. No, there's less in the Dolan. See, the Aperol's almost full. Yeah, I've got to stop buying booze. Just got so much of it there. So if I run out of the bitter red aperitif, I'm going to get an Australian bitter red aperitif. And when I run out of bourbon, which will be a while as well, I'm going to get an Australian bourbon. Gecko, you're going to send me a bottle once the post office starts international shipping. Yeah, I found a website that had this 90% alcohol absinthe, and it was like a 60 or 70% or maybe more clear grain alcohol. It wasn't actually Everclear. It was but it was a clear grain alcohol, quite high proof. And I thought for a hoot I was going to order that. And then I got an email from them that said, oh, yeah, we can't actually ship that to you because it wasn't an Australian site. And so our international courier considers anything above 70% alcohol to be explosive. I was like, oh, well, please refund my order then, which they did quite promptly, which was good. Oh, yeah, Kirsten, I know that's a legal requirement. Enjoy responsibly. It's just taking the piss. It's kind of like the episode of The Simpsons where they go to Duffland and the mascots are like the guys in the beer bottles. And as the walk in, he's holding a beer and he's going, drink Duff responsibly. Drink Duff responsibly. Just barely getting. It's kind of like those really freaky American ads for prescription medicine, which we don't get in Australia. You can't advertise prescription medicine in Australia, where they go like, oh, to free you from your lifestyle. Do you have this? Do you have this? You should try, unnecessary drugs. And they talk about how great for you. And then they do the possible side effects sped up into the last 5 seconds. Yeah, possible side effects include dysentery, spontaneous diarrhea, cancer. Just like, what the and they mumble the possible side effects really fast. Okay, so yeah, your local post office has no international. Yeah, a lot of international deliveries are difficult at the moment, if not cut off completely. But yeah, I know people had been complaining just about local post was really bad at the moment. So kudos to Tiny Bear and their courier. I did give the courier a 5-star rating for getting it to me so quickly. Yeah, that was very good. Oh, okay. Okay. Kirsten, you work trade, you'd know. If it's above 70%, it's considered explosive. And if it's in a container of 5 liters or more, that's hazardous as well. Okay. Authorized by the Angry Party Melbourne. Yeah, that's what they do on political ads in Australia. Authorized by the Angry Party Melbourne. Yep. Oh, dear. Okay, Justin, I suppose to saying 2 to 4 week delay to the USA. Yeah, but it's just basically international shipping is a bit fraught at the moment at the best. Oh, wow. And someone who sent a Valentine's gift from Queensland still hasn't arrived. I don't know that February 14, I don't think you can even blame that on coronavirus. I think that's just an Australia Post fuck up. Gecko, do a YouTube search for Striekenstrahl. That sounds very European. What am I going to discover if I search on that strange word? That is not a word I have seen before. If I very quickly look, let me see. Striekenstrahl. Search the Googs. Announcing Striekenstrahl. Answer to a vague feeling of unease. It's very strange. This goes back a few years. Answer to the vague feeling of unease. Comedian Rhodes and Rose made brilliant satire. Oh, right, okay. It's a spoof of pharmaceutical advertising. There you go. Striekenstrahl. Okay. Yes, Justin, how long will it take for stimulus checks to arrive? That's anyone's guess. Hey, I'm eligible for that JobKeeper payment, but I've still got a job, which is obviously not something to complain about. Yeah. Loogie, how did Netflix party go? It was a bit stressful and didn't really work, so I abandoned it pretty quickly. I think I prefer just chatting to try as opposed to trying to do something like a Netflix play. I mean, like maybe if it was a major release of something, we could watch it all together. But just generally doing it, when I tried to do it, and when I thought, I'm going to have to try and balance the live chat for people who don't have Netflix, and add to it one or two technical difficulties, and I just didn't feel it. Oh yeah, look, game of 20 questions. That's an excellent idea. Yeah, they have ads for medicine that help with the side effect of previous medicine. Yep, that thing. The other one that a classic YouTube video wasn't for medicine. It was for an energy drink called Brawno or something. It was hilarious. Brawndo, I think it was Brawndo. Trying to remember. It's like a real old Brawndo. The Thirst Mutilator. That's it. Brawndo. Wreck your pants like the Incredible Hulk. Yes, that was a classic. That's like from 2007. God damn. That is a classic. Kirsten, you want to play Cards Against Humanity on stream? I think there is an online version you can do that with. Brawndo's from Idiocracy. Right. As the electrolytes that plants crave. Just this new movie on YouTube called Planet of the Humans, which is depressing. Okay, well, I'll steer clear of that because in the current world, I don't need additional depressing news. Oh, God, what a sad Luke. Sorry, Luke, I saw you saying get lost to the troll before I saw the troll. Oh, how sad do you have to be to waste people's time like that? That's okay. They're nothing. I should stop drinking this because I want to. Okay, I want to test drive the gins. All right, I'm going to take me a hot minute to open them. Can't see is like one of those dotted line things they usually have for these seals. Hate is gonna hate, Gecko, is the truth. Is now, ever shall be. World without end. That's my Catholic upbringing coming out there. Okay. That's actually, I'm going to get a knife to do that. That's actually proving a little bit difficult. Fortunately, I'm in the kitchen. Break this plastic seal. Right. Now, this would be funny, me tasting this, because I'm not really a gin drinker. Yes, Justin, I've got your trumped up cards, but I'm the only one with the cards. It's always fun to read a couple of them out. Oh, there is a dotted line in it. I just couldn't see it. Okay, I'll try and find the dotted line on the other ones. Where is it? There it is. Arg. Thought it'd have the dotted line thingy. They always do. Ugh. Honestly, why am I having trouble with a simple thing like taking off a plastic seal? All right, that one's off. There's a dotted line on this one. There it is. Okay, what the fuck? That's all just sealed over. Use the knife again. Come on. There you go. Okay, that's off. So, now I'm going to put them. Oh, sorry. Need more Kentucky bourbon. Want to hear him say Kentucky. I'm confused, Gecko. You're saying you can't see me clearly? I had such trouble with the friggin', oh god. Fucking who the fuck switched that off? Laptop wasn't plugged in. Okay. Because, yeah, I thought I had it. Loogie, you should be easily amused. Makes life more fun. Right, I need to get some shot glasses so so they don't sully one another. They're all going to be in their own shot glass when I taste these gins. Gecko says I'm real dark. Is anyone else think the video is really dark tonight? Because I can adjust settings. Let me launch Synapse. Catherine, I look okay? Do I look like I normally look on these live streams? Or is it worse but okay? Man, I was fucking around. Okay, it's okay. Everyone, the room's dark. Very saturated. Oh, Jesus. Fuck me. I changed one thing on the fucking camera earlier, and then I just had the worst fucking time trying to get it to. Oh, it's not changing. Okay. Razor. Oh wait, there we go. Let me look. I'm just going to try one thing. Bit more light couldn't hurt. Let me try one thing. No, that's darker. And what is it? I need gain to go down. Contrast to go down. Exposure to go up. Oh god. Oh, this is starting to shit me so much. Now, did I just make it look worse is the question. Face is orangey red. That's better. Okay. Ugh, it's stressing me out. Gotta get some shot glasses. Three shot glasses. Okay, that's better. Good. And it shall stay. Well, one more shot glass. Where are all my shot glasses? A shot glass? No. This'll do. It's not really a shot glass, but it'll do. It'll function as a shot glass. Okay. This. And I want the Tanqueray to compare it to a bog standard gin. Right. Okay, so that's a bit better and a bit less orange. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm not going to do a full shot of these, just splash. This is one because I'm not really a gin drinker, so it'll be interesting how I react to it. So it's the Tanqueray. Get a satisfying pop. Very light aroma from the Gypsy. It's the spicy one. Little sip of that in there. The Doctor, which I think is what we say is their standard one. Pop from that. We'll sip of the Doctor. All right. And finally, Navy Strength, the Sailor. The Killer. Lukey, the dog's taken over your bed. That's fair. Little pop. Little satisfying noise. Navy Strength. I wonder, does the Gypsy smell spicier? Yeah, maybe. All right. Taste test time. So I'm tasting, this is just your like Tanqueray. So it's a London Dry, really common one you get in the shops. It's not certainly regarded as a bad gin, but it's nothing flash. I mean, like it's quite easy to drink. And then it kind of catches up on you. Yeah, I can see what, I don't know. What do people say? They always say like, saying things like floral and citrus forward, and I can't taste it. It's exceptional, much revered taste. All sorts of botanicals. So it's basically, vodka flavored with botanicals. So they tend to, the idea is it's your local product that it flavors it. So gin varies from region to region. I should get some water to rinse my mouth out, cleanse my palate. Between it, I'll just get a glass. All right. Might even put some ice in it, cold water. Wash my mouth out. Ice. And I've got some filtered water over here. I'll just... Okay, Tanqueray doesn't have fresh botanicals as a citrusy thing from lemon essence. Oh, yes. I remember you being quite down on Tanqueray. I'm not going to defend it. The bottle says, finest botanicals picked at the peak of their freshness. I think Kirsten thinks they're telling porkies. All right. So that was... your bog standard Tanqueray London Dry Gin. Fine if you like that sort of thing. This is a much more interesting smell than the Tanqueray. And I'm really bad with the descriptions. I don't really know what to say about it, but oh, you like, okay, Kirsten, Tanqueray is much better than Gordon's. Okay, there you go. That's very different. It's smoother for a start. Doesn't burn going down. Tanqueray did a bit. It kind of tastes like lemon oil. This is the Doctor. This is the Doctor. That kind of tastes like lemon oil to me. Maybe orange. It's much nicer to drink than Tanqueray. I'll tell you that much. I'm really looking forward to trying it in a cocktail. Cleansing my palate. This is the gypsy. It's supposed to be a bit spicy. Doesn't necessarily smell spicy. Maybe burn the nostril hairs a bit there. I don't know. We'll see. Wow, that's really different. That is really different. And yes, I could. Yeah, it does remind me of. They're saying it's with various peppers. It does remind me of capsicum. That is, yeah. There is like a pepper type flavor in it. That's really interesting. It's amazing. You know, again, as not a gin drinker, I'm like, different gins really taste different. They really do. Whew. It's going to be interesting to have these in a cocktail. That is, in fact, a little bit spicy. Because it's a Tiny Bear is different. They make their own base spirit from kale. That's interesting. Luke, you got to be careful how you say that. Get your dog out of bed with a bone. But it's cool that they make their own base spirit rather than, you know, just sourcing a base spirit from somewhere else. Okay, now this is the Navy Strength. This is the overproof gin. Almost 50% higher alcohol content than your average gin. Ooh. What's this going to do to me? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, you can taste the extra alcohol. Looks a lordy. Yeah, I think this is going to be much better, even just on ice. I'm going to put a little bit of ice in it, actually. It's only a tiny bit in here. I'm just going to put one bit of ice in. Just going to chill it down a little bit with some ice. It's fierce. What do I expect from 58% alcohol? Sorry about picking my teeth. There's just something really annoying there. Again, I'm quite looking forward to trying that in a thing. Kirsten, you're doing Sailor on Ice. Okay, yeah. I feel like it needs something to tame it. Ice might be enough. Whew. I word, you can taste the extra alcohol. Let me just rinse this down. Oh, blood orange. I think it would probably go really well with blood orange. Just getting that blood orange washing over my tongue there was actually quite nice. So, these taste very different to each other and very different to Tanqueray. Did I like it? Not the Sailor, not straight. Looking forward to trying it in a cocktail. Initial teeny tiny taste I had. The Doctor would be my choice just by itself. I'm very keen to try them in a cocktail. I have to decide which cocktail would show them off best. If I look in my little my Bible is probably, I can probably just look up Navy Strength gin. No. All right. Gin. Gin. Starting on... Ow. It's a whole section in here on gin. An Alaska cocktail, which is gin and chartreuse. Leave it to me. Gin, lemon juice, raspberry, maraschino, simple syrup. Although very small amounts of raspberry syrup, maraschino, and simple syrup. And lemon juice. It's just, ooh. See, that might actually go with the Navy. So, yeah. A Claridge, which I think I've made before, is gin, vermouth, apricot liqueur, and Cointreau. Sleepy Hollow is gin, lemon juice, apricot, simple syrup, mint. Ephemeral, gin, vermouth, elderflower, bitters. Holland Gin Daisy, Geneva, lemon juice, curacao, gin, orgeat, absinthe, agave de lis. I have to come up with what would be the perfect gin cocktail. Kirsten, you like a gimlet? Yes, a gimlet is a classic and very simple drink. In fact, that strictly the old school recipe is lime cordial. I actually have a special cocktail made for lime cordial in the fridge. Like, it's not Cotty's Cooler. But in this modern day, I think most bars would make a gimlet with lime juice rather than lime cordial. It's pretty simple. A gimlet is mostly gin and some lime. Look, your liver hates you. You've been punishing the liver? But you have had time to watch classic Blade Runner. Was that the one with the voiceover, the original theatrical release? There are so many different versions of it being released. I know a lot of people these days are super down on the voiceover version, the original theatrical release, because, of course, Ridley Scott didn't want to have a voiceover. The studio were just worried the movie was too complicated, and they had to do the voiceover. I like the voiceover. The Raymond Chandler voiceover stuff, I think, is quite good. It's a different movie. It is an absolutely different movie. And maybe I'm crazy, but I think your viewing experience of Blade Runner would be improved by watching the original theatrical release first with the voiceover, and then watching one of the later versions with no voiceover. I'm not sure how different the different versions are, but the versions without the voiceover, and you'll feel it very different. Kirsten, you're on. I was thinking martini, actually. Gin, vermouth, not a lot else. Would you do... what sort of vermouth would you make a martini with? I've got 2 Australian vermouth, the Maiden Eye Classic, which is a rouge vermouth, and the one I got just the other day, the Royal Rogue, which is a blanc vermouth. Luigi, well, that's a very strong reaction. Nearly made you cry. Is that damn perfect? It's the Roy Batty speech still gets to me. All these memories gonna be lost like tears in the rain. So did I get red lemonade? I did not. This is a blood orange juice that I got just from the supermarket, mixed with lemonade. So very tasty. I might make a cocktail with the blood orange juice, actually. That would actually probably go quite well with the gin. I have to think of how to do it. Ah, Kirsten, made any dry? Okay, I don't have the dry, and I'm not. I'm going to favour your lead. I'll do the made any classic, and the royal. You like the Royal Rouge as well? Okay. Yes, the white royal I got is a much sweeter one. But it's all good. I prefer the sweeter ones to the dry ones myself. But it's, they all have their place. They all have their place. So, yes, when I do the cocktail taste test with these gins, it might be a martini. Just this and some vermouth. Yeah. Keeping it simple up front. And I guess keeping it simple, not too many distractions, we'll see the character of the gin shine through. And then I'm going to be like a super sophisticated James Bond, double fisting martinis. Yeah. Oh, can't stop with the double fisting. This is a case where you really don't want to say that's what she said. But anyway. And one of those things. So a little later in the week, maybe as soon as tomorrow. I don't know. But Wednesday at the latest. Maybe tomorrow. And then I can edit the video and put it up by Thursday. Yeah, I might do that. If I might do the martini taste off tomorrow night and then edit and upload. So it's there for Thursday night. Oh, cool. Kirsten, play along at home Friday. This would be fun. If you were at all interested, Kirsten, as I often do, give out the link to join in the stream. If you have a webcam and you want to join in, doing Friday night drinks, just let me know, and that's a thing we can do. So, I think it would be great to have your expertise on. Actually, I'd really like that. Lukey, what on earth are you doing? Eggs, Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper. You're making a particularly gruesome Bloody Mary by the sounds of that. Not even sure what recipe you're sharing there. Not into Bloody Marys myself. Actually, maybe I would be more these days because I never used to eat tomato. But Kirsten, you'll have to brush your hair. Have you got isolation hair? That's what Annette was saying last live stream. She put a hat on because she had isolation hair. Gecko, got to go to bed. Talk to you later, buddy. That's a hangover cure. Oh, the prairie oyster, of course. A hangover cure. There's no alcohol at all, just egg and Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper, Tabasco. Yeah, there is no cure for a hangover. Prevention is a far better bet than a cure, as in don't drink too much. Hydrate. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would settle my stomach either. I think certain foods maybe help settle your stomach, but very little apart from time makes a hangover go away. It's basically your body telling you, I've been poisoned. Louis, if it works, I think that's psychosomatic, which is not to say things that are purely the power of suggestion don't work, because they do. If it works for you, it's probably because you believe it works for you. And that's how strong I am. Okay, Kirsten, you just hate brushing your hair. Fair call. Fair call. Mine, it's not even that long since I had it cut. I really prefer my hair short. And I don't know how long it's going to be before it's not a hairdresser I go to. It's a men's. Not even sure if they do ladies' hair. I just think because I want someone who could trim my beard as well. And there's beardy guys I think they're sort of like Central or Eastern European guys. I'm going to go with the big beard out here. These guys know how to trim beards. And because I'm really bad at it. So I've got a place I go to in the city. Don't know when they'll be open again. Don't know when I'll be in the city again. Don't know what I'll do as my hair gets longer. If I'll just let it get longer or what. I kind of decided I'm just, for as long as, you know, these rules are in place, I'm just going to let the beard grow. I've still trimmed the sides and stuff because, you know, I'm not a fucking hippie. You know, Luke, you actually like the taste of it as well. So it's not really to my taste. One of the YouTube channels I follow for the cocktails, it's called How to Drink. It's a very popular channel. He did, I haven't even watched it. He did a video a week or so ago trying, I think he tried multiple prairie oyster recipes. And I think his general vibe were, these are bad. But it's all about individual taste. So there's no right, there's no wrong. There's just what your taste. Oh, look, you watch How to Drink as well. There's a lot. I don't know if lot's the right word, actually, because I don't know if I've seen one. There are quite a few cocktail channels who post regularly who have a pretty high viewership. There's How to Drink. The Educated Barfly is another American one. How to Drink's American. Educated Barfly. Yes, Kirsten, Steve the Bartender, Australian cocktail channel. He's very good. And you got to watch his thing is a smile when he shakes a cocktail. He shakes in profile, like, and he turns and smiles. He'll smile once. Everyone gets really upset if he doesn't do the smile. And I have to admit, having seen it dozens and dozens of times, every time he smiles, I get a bit of a giggle. So he did the smile. He did the smile. But yeah, Steve the Bartender is a Melbourne bloke. I think he's from Melbourne. He's Australian anyway. He's good. So if a tipsy bartender has been around for a while, they've taken to just doing these really quick videos where they don't really explain anything, which is cool. And I also think Tipsy Bartender just kind of does novelty stuff. Not that these other guys don't do some novelty stuff, but they also do like classics and interesting cocktails, and they explain it. He's in Adelaide. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Melbourne or Adelaide because Steve the Bartender is in Adelaide. Okay. There's a guy where he's actually like on his Slav squatting in tracksuit. Vlad, the bartender. What's his channel called? He's the type of bartender who does a lot of flair stuff. None of these other ones I'm mentioning bother with flair things. As I think the channel's called Vlad Slick Bartender. But Steve the Bartender, How to Drink, Educated Barfly, Cocktail Chemistry, none of them bother with flair type stuff, and which is the spinning bottles and shit, which honestly I don't have a lot of time for. But Vlad does know how to make drinks. There's no two questions about that. So when I change the lights, you can see the drinks better. Yes. They're just over there. So Ulu, Alien Isolation's on sale for $2 for the next 24 hours. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. And we're making real bartenders to stream make the. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Kirsten and I were talking about this guy who does cocktail streams for Applewood Distillery, Henry. He's very funny, and he's getting other bartenders on there. And there's this absolutely hideous YouTube channel from years gone by, an American bar channel called Mahalo, and there's just something profoundly wrong with their fucking cocktail recipes. And so Henry started getting other bartenders in and saying, you have to follow what this person does and make the cocktail they're saying. And it's it is really funny because everything about these Mahalo cocktail recipes is just wrong, and it's it's a little bit cruel putting things in there. So should Mrs. Angry be worried about Kirsten? I don't think so. We'll see. I think Mrs. Angry is going to appreciate Kirsten telling me to get some nice gins. Mrs. Angry being a gin drinker. Your family's game budget has been ridiculous. You got XCOM Chimera Squad. There you go. Kirsten's also married. We just really like talking about the booze. That's the thing. Ours hasn't been that full on. Mrs. Angry is playing okay, what's it, Distant Worlds or something? Other Worlds? Something like that. One that she was already intending, but then a lot of people recommended it. And I got a bundle for about, it was 40 or 50 bucks off Humble Bundle of Far Cry 5 and the sequel New Dawn, and also Far Cry 3, which I think a lot of people say is the best of the Far Cries. So I played Far Cry 5, which was fun, really dark, with a very unexpectedly dark ending. Outer Worlds, thanks, Megaleech. I'm into New Dawn now and enjoying that. And I just know they're going to put some more dark shit in there. And then I will probably play a Far Cry 3, seeing I've got that as well. Outer like border and worlds like lands. Yeah, I've watched a little bit as Mrs. Angry plays Outer Worlds. It reminds me a lot of Fallout 4. Just with the gameplay where the people talk there and you have to choose the multiple dialogue options. Ooh, Sue, you had rum and milk. You know what you should try? Because I'm going to try it and I haven't tried it yet. I think they call it like clarified rum punch. I'm going to try it. Clarified. Yeah, okay, they call it a clarified milk punch. And there's a couple of guides to do. Oh my God. I just saw there's only 1 year ago. I thought it's a really old educated barfly video. It's only a year old, but his hair is so different. Isn't it weird? You get used to seeing someone a couple different way. You get used to seeing people a way, and then you see them looking something else. Like the dude in Educated Barfly a year ago has a really long hair parted in the middle. He looks so goofy because I've only ever seen him with short hair. Yeah, so I'm going to try Milk Punch at some point. Oh, yeah, Applewood did a whole stream about Milk Punch. I'm definitely going to try Milk Punch because I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and it looks very interesting. So I'm definitely going to try and do the Milk Punch at some point. Maybe even this weekend. I don't know. When I've got a bit of time to fiddle around. Not that I could do it anytime. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to try Milk Punch. Because I haven't done anything interesting. I haven't done any infusions or anything different for a while. So it's time to do something different. And of course, the other one that I'm and Milk Punch, I think, could be regarded as a version of this. But I'm going to try what they call fat washing some spirits, which sounds super gross, but it's not that bad. But you basically can use any oil And you often hear about people talking about bacon fat washed bourbon because the bacon flavor and bourbon go quite well together. You basically need any sort of oil. So like you can cook some bacon and drain off the fat from that. Or I just saw a guy doing it. The channel's called Truffles on the Rocks. It's another cocktail making channel. A French Canadian guy runs it. He's pretty good. And he did truffle oil. You could do coconut oil. You can do olive oil. You can do any animal fat. Basically, you make it as liquid and warm, and you mix it with the spirit, and you can do it with any spirit you want. And you mix, and obviously it's not going to completely blend in, but you have the oil, the fat warm, so it's a warm liquid. You mix it through, and then you freeze it. And of course, the oil, the fat, is going to rise to the top and conveniently freeze in one big thing. You can just take that out and then filter your booze to get rid of any little bits in it. And then the booze has absorbed the flavor of the oil or the fat that you had in it. You just have to drink that in a relatively short time frame because you don't want it to go off. You have to refrigerate it. But I want to try, fat washing as well. If you in a bar somewhere and they're talking about having fat washed spirits, you have to trust them a bit, because if they don't store it properly, you could easily end up with food poisoning. So if you do it yourself, you've got to handle it properly or you'll get food poisoning. Luke, it's a new name for lockdown to boost morale. Should call it Drunk Town. There was these comparisons that have been done, and I think it was off credit card purchases. And in rich suburbs, is spending like a third more on booze, and in the more working class suburbs in the West, they're actually spending slightly less on booze. And someone says it's not that surprising that rich people have started spending more on discretionary or frivolous things because they've just got more money. Whereas the more working class people, many of whom may have lost their jobs, can't afford to spend money on frivolous things, so they're actually spending less. But the rich people are buying heaps of booze. So, that's a thing happen. Yes, I don't know what you want to do with that information, but now you have it. So that's apparently what's happening in the world. The more I think about it, because I really like this blood orange juice that I found, I think it'd probably go well with these gins. But I'm going to do a little bit of research. A martini's probably a good idea. Have something simple to see how these gins go in an unfussy drink. Okay, what the fuck is that noise? Is that a possum? Like something's chewing. This is very disconcerting. I have no idea what that noise was. Really sounded like something chewing. Sorry, I'm just going to look at something here. What's this? No, there's nothing there. I half expected when I opened this cupboard to see some sort of beast staring at me. It may have, look, to be fair, it may have been my imagination. Yes, Miguelich, an opportunity for possum fat washed alcohol. So might have been rats, but I haven't actually seen rats around here. We do have possums in our roof. It's funny because every now and then, like lying in bed, every now and then for no apparent reason, one of our cats, usually Mimsy, will go running up or down the hall. They're sort of thundering along, and it goes, and then every now and then there's a similar noise, but it goes on for much longer because it's a possum and it's in the roof and it's not limited by the hallway. It can run the whole length of the house. So we definitely have possums in the roof. Not as bad as the previous place I lived when we got possums in the roof. They were prone to fighting and fucking, I think. I think possums are one of those creatures where they sound the same when they're fighting and when they're having sex. So they can be very noisy and make awful, awful noises. Lukey saying unemployment could go as high as 32%. That is scary. It's just, there are lots of things happening at the moment that's justified to be scary of. Oh, there you go, Kirsten. You agree. Blood orange goes with gin. I was just thinking, having tasted the gins, and there was a thing just after I finished my sip of the Sailor, the Navy Strength Overproof, and I had a sip of this blood orange. It sort of mixed on my tongue and tasted quite nice. So, yeah. Can you do anything about possums, Safi? You can trap them. If you can find where they're getting into the roof, and this is what happened at our last place, found there was like some broken tiles, which is obviously where they're getting in. So had to do something to lure them out of the roof and then fix the tiles, and then they can't get back in. So there will be a broken tile somewhere or a hole somewhere, which is where they're getting in and out. And yeah, you can get like, you know, animal control person to come and they can trap them and then like let them loose in the park. There's parkland around here. So, you know, you don't want to hurt the possums, but, you know, you can catch them in a humane trap and then let them out in the park. So your dog has no food because the possums eat it all. That's mean. Mean possums. And you had a friend at his bed right under the manhole in the roof, which had lost its lid, and the possum got up there and would pelt him with stuff while he was asleep. Oh, that's no good. And he was a big stoner, so he's always teetering on the edge of giggles or paranoia over it. Oh, my God. I'd be like ceiling cat is watching you masturbate. Yeah. Oh, Loogie, you used to live in the woods, did you? Oh, no. Yeah, I lived in the country. So does Dubbo count as country? Never used to see possums in Dubbo, actually. I don't remember really seeing them in Dubbo. I did in Bathurst when I was in Bathurst. Yeah, I don't really recall seeing wildlife in Dubbo. I mean, if you went out of town, sure, there's kangaroos and emus and wallabies and whatnot out of town. But in town, I don't really remember in the woods with no house. Rats. I don't think it's rats. I've never seen rats around here. Cats occasionally murder a mouse. And present it proudly. Look, I killed something. It's like, evening, Stella. How are you? So I think Dubbo's too barren. I don't know. Well, they're still saying a bloody possums are eating a dog's food, but that's a different part of town to where I grew up as well. So I don't know. I do not know. I'm not well versed in the wildlife in the Dubbo environs. So anyone's guess. Someone who actually knows what they're talking about might have an answer about that. I'm not drunk. I didn't even have a shot. I just had 4 sips. Probably counts as about half a shot of gin. Even, okay, the Sailor gin. I'm thinking now I've got, what have I got? If I compare a few things. The possums used to be called little brothers. Stella, I'm doing fairly well. So now I've got like a 58% gin. I've got 50% rye whiskey. I've got an 80% absinthe. I've got an indeterminate percent herbal tincture that's probably about 60%. I'm trying to think of all my overproof stuff. Got 55% green chartreuse. This one too. What was my other overproof here? Spirit of Dublin Irish Poutine, 52.5%. And overproof rum, 69%. 69. Nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 things that count as overproof. I should make a cocktail that's just all of them 6. I think I've got 6 things that are overproof. I should just make a cocktail that's all of those things, called the Brain Blaster or something. So I don't think there are feral cats in my neighborhood, but how would I know? I don't see many stray-looking cats running around. A few neighbor cats, occasionally a cat I don't recognize in our yard. Oh, God, the stove's doing that thing. I don't know if you can hear it, but it annoys me when the buzzer starts going. Stop it. I don't know how to stop it from doing it either. Let's look. Get on your level with the overproof double shot of that gin straight. Nah. I got to come up with something. It's a travesty. If I did that, it's a travesty to have a cocktail that's gin, rum, rye, absinthe, poutine, and just herbal tincture that was originally 95% Polish spiritus that I diluted several times with vodka. Cat fights and possum fights sound very similar. Same as cats make the same sort of noise when they're having sex as when they're fighting. So I don't know what else cats and possums have with egg yolks. Arthur, gross. Although that's called a flip when you have egg yolk in there. No, I'd probably put some fruit juices in it, like make a version of. It was like, the two drinks with everything in them that are traditional are a zombie, which normally has at least 3 or 4 sorts of rum in it, and Long Island iced tea. I have a Long Island iced tea in here. It's a bit gauche, a Long Island iced tea, page 15. Yeah, no, I think he probably just disparagingly refers to one. Prior to this is like navigating the cocktail renaissance. Sue wants to change the topic off alcohol. I'm willing to do that. Okay. Have I seen Bohemian Rhapsody? Yes. Pisses you off the shot at the end of the movie. Rami has the wrong coloured eyes after they gave him false teeth wasn't in his eyes. Good question. Why is so much of the story not true when Queen were involved in the making of it? Like, all the major plot points in the movie aren't true, or they're out of sequence, or they're exaggerated. It's absolutely surreal. All the major plot points in the movie are untrue, which is really weird. Luke, you like spirits unmixed. You're a hard man. I like to mix my cocktails. I very rarely drink straight spirits. Last time you had mixed drinks, you woke up naked on a riverbank with a female you just met performing adult acts upon me. I don't know. That sounds good. I'm not sure where that's been bad. Stella, cats mating next to your head when you're sleeping in a caravan is horrific. Oh, no. Wake up thinking the zombie apocalypse has happened. Kirsten, you're a fan of the flip. Bad Frankie's golden flip. Abigail, hello and good evening. And Safi, you're watching Clone Wars Season 7. I watched some early Clone Wars. It seems quite good. Most people say that Clone Wars animated series, Bad Frankie, Golden Flip. I'm going to see what it says about that. Bad Frankie, which is in the other part of town to me. About Us. Jaffles. Ooh, they do food. Cocktails. Pavlova, Spritz, Daintree Martini, Bitters of Oz, Native Gibson, Gummy Highball, Richard V, Pepperberry Fizz, Paddle and Pop, Ken Oath Cooler. Oh, they've got very Aussie names. I like that. For drinking after Jaffles, Bloody McKillop, Angrove, Frankie's Cove, The Golden Flip, Butter Vodka, Tambourine Mountain Distillery, Wattleseed and Toffee Liqueur, and one egg. This is vodka, a very sweet sounding liqueur, and an egg. Ugh. So I've never been to Bad Frankie. It's in Fitzroy, which is the other side of town to me. And while there are doubtless a lot of good places in Fitzroy, oh, they only do Australian spirits. That's nice. Now I feel like I should go there to support them just for that reason. I've got all fuzzies. Oh, and here's that thinking it's just me. Yes, I rarely travel over that side of town for nights out because it's just such a pain in the ass to get home. And I'm old and boring and like my life simple. And I found a bunch of places on this side of town that I like. So I tend to go out to places on this side of town because it's far less hassle. But that does sound good. It definitely does sound good. Strictly Staggy, you've been binging the good films. King's Speech, Creed, 12 Years a Slave. Still haven't seen 12 Years a Slave. Seen Creed and Creed 2 and The King's Speech. They're all good. I found myself last night just spontaneously rewatching the all-female Ghostbusters. I love that movie. It's so funny. And yes, my big contentious statement, it is so much better than the original Ghostbusters. It's so much funnier. And it's cheating to say the effects are better because, it's like 30, 40 years later. Of course the effects are better. But I thought it was just way funnier. So what's the best side of Melbourne? I don't know. If I lived on the Fitzroy side, I think I'd really like it. Abigail, you're in Fitzroy. Okay, cool. I do go to Fitzroy occasionally to go to the Bitters Lab and pick something up because that's a specialty place I really like. Luigi, you want more history in the French Navy? Certainly, there are so many documentaries on the various streaming services. Here's a bit of trivia. Strictly saying, you're saying Go the Lions. That's the old AFL club that got disbanded a long time ago, like 20 years ago or something. The last year that the Fitzroy Lions existed, I actually watched the grand final at the home of the Fitzroy Lions captain. A friend of mine was friends with him, invited me over to watch it, and got at least half the squad was there. And because the Fitzroy Lions had no money, they ended up becoming the Brisbane Lions, and then that went broke, and then the Brisbane club was reformed as the Brisbane Bears, I think, if I remember my football rightly. I'm not that good. But anyway, this was the last year the Fitzroy Lions existed, and their squad was very young because they didn't have any money to pay for more experienced players. And so it was really weird, although it was 20 years ago, whenever Fitzroy Lions stopped existing. And watching the grand final with these lads who were in the squad. And so they were all very young, like they're all under 25. Like I think the captain was under 25. Really quite tall, almost all of them. And all of them were like muscular and fit as fuck. And this is not a crowd I normally hang out with. And not even when I was their age. I mean, I was only about, fucking 30 something at this stage, but they were 5-10 years younger than me. And they were just all just these really fit young blokes, and they're having a wild old time. And there was very nearly a nasty fight. I don't know, a couple of them didn't seem to get on that well, but it was a slightly surreal experience. Oh yeah, Stella, I know the Lions and Bears merged, but they stopped calling them the Brisbane Lions. They're the Brisbane Bears, aren't they? I'm confused. I'm confused. PBR, how's it going? Used to live in Napier Street. Cool. Strange thing to say, Loogie. Your ex-girlfriend, serious feelings, want to back. Have I fucked up? I don't know, man. Sometimes that works. I don't want to talk you out of it. The old saying goes that when you get back with an ex, it doesn't take long to realize why you broke up. But that's not universal. Maybe it's the right thing. Who knows? Who knows? Trying to predict the success of relationships is more difficult than virtually anything. Be on your guard, I guess, Loogie. You never know what's going to happen. Well, this is more fun now. We've got into locations and relationship stories and what we've been watching. What else have I watched this last week? I started watching... Oh, Stella, okay, you're helping me out. They were the Brisbane Bears and they became the Brisbane Lions. See, so I don't pay that much attention to football. And so they've been the Brisbane Lions for 20 years and I don't remember that. Cool. Cool. Luke, is the leader of North Korea going to die? Has he already died? Who knows? How long is it going to take them to admit what's happening with him? We don't know. It's one of the places in the world where you can't really trust the stories that come out of there. That's a weird one. What would that mean for the world? Because everyone's saying the hot favorite to replace him is his sister-in-law. So if you want, was NRL big in WA? Yes. New South Wales is a rugby league state. So the rugby league was the biggest thing there. Rugby union was quite a fringe thing, and the Australian rules football was quite a fringe thing. Although I did join the local Aussie rules football club, the Dubbo Demons, when I was about 16. And that was fun. I'm not a sports person. I mean, 16, so I was fitter then. But Aussie rules is the most fun I've had playing team sport. I found it. I was not good at it. I was never any good at it. But it was more fun. Like I played soccer for years, and Aussie rules football was much more fun to play. Yeah, Catherine, that's the big question. That's the big question, Loogie. Are you just feeling a bit lonely and nostalgic because of the social isolation? Don't want to be making any rash decisions there. Bobo, you reckon with Kim dead, you think China's going to try and take over North Korea? I don't know if they want to. I mean, sure, maybe have a more tight relationship with whoever ends up heading North Korea, but I don't know if China want the grief. I literally don't know. Maybe they would do it. I don't know. Jesus. I love that bit of trivia, Strictly Sega. You used to be a bartender at the footy. Most polite fans, Geelong fans. Most rude are the Hawks. There you go. Fair enough. Oh, and the Pies. Yeah, well, there you go. They've got a bit of a reputation, don't they? Collingwood supporters. Everyone makes jokes about them in Melbourne. People left back, left out. Aussie rules, back pocket. That's where you stick them. I actually liked half forward. Full forward, definitely not full forward. That's like big blokes who can jump high. Now forward pocket's too much pressure. I kind of liked half forward because you got a lot of action when you are half forward or half back. Back pocket is where they stick the mugs. Half back or half forward, I kind of liked. Look, you're good. Enjoy the isolation, the solitude. For years I used to pronounce solitude solitude, and I was sure I was right. I was sure that's how it was spelt, solitude, and it's not. It's solitude. And someone pulled me up on it one day. What are you saying? Solitude? It's solitude. I never know where, like on social media, if one of my friends uses a word wrongly or says the wrong word, whether to correct them. Like, I'm trying to be helpful. It's not that. It's this. But does that just come off as being a dick? I don't know. And because I am somewhat obsessive with grammar and whatnot. Yeah, sometimes when a friend says the wrong word, it's like, or am I just going to be a dick if I correct them? And so I actually usually don't. So if it did take long to understand AFL, not that long. But yeah, you've got to learn some very different things with AFL as opposed to rugby league. Bobo, you were full forward or in the pocket. See, if you could catch the ball, that's it. I was pretty much useless at every skill in the game. Catching, kicking, passing, but I could tackle. I was pretty good at tackling. So you can say you're at the Adam Goods game where the Magpies supporters were racist AF. Yes. Yep. And I tell you who I get more pissed off at than the racists who had a go at Adam Goods in that game. The fucking pieces of shit who defended. No, it wasn't racist. It's not racist. It wasn't about. It was. It was fucking racist as fuck. And no, Safa, AFL was not broadcast in Dubbo back in the day. When we had just the one local channel, it's not. The bloody VFL was probably on ABC actually, but no, the AFL way back times was not available in Dubbo. Eventually, it was. I'm not sure when it first started getting broadcast regularly, but like 70s and 80s, early 80s, definitely not. Oh God. Yeah, okay. But that's just a mispronunciation, I think, Megalich. If people say think instead of thing like everything, I don't think they think that you actually spell it everything. I could be wrong. It's just a speech mannerism. Oh God, PBR fell off a chair, cracked a couple of ribs. Yikes. Oh God, that's creepy, strictly say. You could hear Collingwood fans talking about how racist and awesome it was as they left the game. Ugh. Yeah, so the same as NRL wasn't in Victoria. Yeah, absolutely. It was very segregated. The rugby league was New South Wales and Queensland. The Australian rules football was Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia, and Tasmania, I think. So, it used to be very segregated which states did which. Yes. So we have 43 free data channels now. It's just like with all the digital channels, it's just wild. We grew up with two channels. A local commercial channel that was an amalgamation of the three metropolitan commercial channels. They would sort of pick and choose programs from the three metropolitan commercial channels, and the ABC. That was us. Two radio stations as well. There was an AM commercial station and an ABC AM. There was no FM at all. There was two TV stations and two radio stations. And the radio stations were complete shit, and the TV was mostly shit. Yep, it's so different now. No internet either. Yes. So I remember it was that quite young girl who's Adam Goods called out for the racist shit. I was just like, oh, bloody hell. Oh, Mega Leach, you hate people who pronounce H. Yeah, I have a bit of a thing about that too. I won't normally correct people for that one, but a bit of a thing. Oh God, yes, Sue, the remote that was actually attached with a cord to the TV. We had God, it took us ages to get a color TV. In fact, our grandparents who lived across the road had a color TV years before we did, and so I used to occasionally go over there to watch a show in color. But yes. Oh yes, after even Turnbull shitty broadband, there was nothing remotely like the internet back in the day. Some people would be like, I think the closest was the real fringe thing of being into ham radio, UHF radio, having a radio thing trying to pick up calls from around the world, or CB radio, Citizen Band Radio, had its day in the sort of late 70s. Still, you're saying H is an Irish Catholic thing? Possibly, quite possibly. It's such a weird thing. It's like, well, in my day, you kids, you won't know what it's like. Oh, I feel the pastry saying kids these days will never know what it's like to have to sit through the longest half hour in history as Gran watched EastEnders, and there was just one TV in the house. Yep. That is what it comes down to. Um, yes, and when you're a kid, you had no say in what you watched. It's just it's a travesty. Oh, now everyone's overstimulated with the amount of choices. Like I will literally find myself paralyzed, but I'm often stopping myself from rewatching something that I've watched heaps of times because it's like, oh, there's all these things I haven't watched them. I kind of think, oh, maybe just, but I know I like this. If I just rewatch this, I'll be happy. Yeah. Hey, Shadow Eyes, how's it going? Abigail, your father flicking through channels during commercial breaks infuriated you. See, I didn't have that problem. There was nothing to flick to. You knew what was on. It's like if you were on the commercial channel, you just knew the ABC was on the other thing. There was nothing to flick between. Kirsten, your mum's husband does ham radio to the International Space Station for NASA. That's cool. That is cool. I like that. Oh, I've heard Mystery Road is good. There's an Australian series. I'll have to get into that. That's the second season of Mystery Road or the first season that's on now? Yeah, I used to watch some EastEnders, I think. Shadow Eyes, another night of insomnia. I'm doing well. You missed. I had gin tasting. I got my special package of gin today that was recommended by Kirsten, and it's Kristen, I should say. Sorry. A local Victorian distillery, and there's three of the things: the Doctor, which feels like their more standard one; the Gypsy, which is spicy, and the Sailor, which is Navy strength, which means it's overproof, 58% alcohol. It's a bit of a beast. So I had a sip of them straight. It was very interesting because I also compared them because I always had the bog standard Tanqueray London Dry. And that's okay. This is much better. It's like noticeably better. And this is fairly feisty with its spice, and the fucking overproof ones here. I'm looking forward to trying them in cocktails, which I'll probably even do to. I think sorry, Kristen. No, it's Kirsten. Oh God. See, I'm old. I'm old and my eyes don't work. Jesus. Annette, those bear labels will be dangerous around little kids only once. Only once. They'd only take one mouthful of this. The dangerous thing would be dropping the bottle and smashing it. It's not going to poison them, and they're only going to take one sip of this and then never go near it again. Especially if they happen to pick the Navy strength one. Oh, golly, they wouldn't forget that in a hurry. Don't have any kids, so that's okay. Yes, Shadow Eyes. I think they will make a great cocktail. Even though it's not formal Friday tomorrow, I like dressing up for the videos. Because here's the thing. It's not universal, but it's very, very close to it. The dudes who do cocktail channels on YouTube wear aprons. That's like the hip thing for bartenders at the moment, particularly cocktail bartenders, to wear aprons, usually like leather or very sort of tough denim apron. And I don't have one of those. And I did a couple of the cocktail videos on Friday when I was dressed for formal Friday. And I might dress up tomorrow night because I like the way that looks in the videos, actually. And I'm going to dress up formal. Yeah, I think it'll definitely be martinis. Compare these three and the Tanqueray in martinis with a nice Australian vermouth. Just keep it really simple. Just gin and vermouth. Not messing about with a dirty martini or anything. Oh, Strict Say was 76. I thought it was 75. Color TV Australia. Yeah, it was 1975. I thought so. March 1st, 1975, the day colour television transmissions began in Australia. I reckon what you're right about is that's when everyone bought colour TVs. For the 1976 Montreal Olympics, I reckon that's when everyone bought colour TVs because they wanted to see the glory of the I don't know what you mean by it wasn't rolled out till 76, because I actually remembered that date. It's 75. That's when first colour broadcasts happened in Australia. But I wouldn't be surprised if 76 is when everyone bought colour TVs to enjoy the majesty of the Olympics in colour in super low resolution. It's funny, if you tried to watch the resolution of the broadcast in 1976, it would probably, compared to what we have now, it would probably feel like watching like 13-year-old YouTube videos. They're all such low res. But yeah, you think back at the time, you never really thought the videos were that bad on YouTube. It's just we got used to higher and higher and higher quality, but it happened progressively. So stuff we used to think was good quality, 12, 13 years ago on YouTube just looks like garbage now. Particularly if you try and full screen it on a modern monitor, it looks terrible. It was designed to be seen on a bloody 14-inch CRT monitor. Yes, Kirsten, the HD 4K QLED monitors, they're selling 8K monitors now. So it just keeps going. They just keep coming up with ways to convince you to spend more money on a TV. I mean, I just saw, it's like in JB or something advertising just this, what seems like a monstrously huge, don't think it was 4K. It might have been 2K. It might have been 4K. And it was like for $500. And it's like, what the fuck? That's so advanced that 10 years ago it would have seemed like magic. But yeah, the technology just keeps getting bigger and cheaper. I'm going to really quickly look and see what TVs they have on sale. So, okay, like a name-ish brand, Samsung, 55-inch 4K UHD LED, $1,195. Shit, and then there's a 75-inch. Jesus, that's huge. 4K for $1,700. But like, yeah, like your Chinese like knockoff brands, 548. Yeah, that is full HD, so that's 1080p. They're like $500. On sale, Hisense 4K for $900, 65-inch. Fuck me. I don't even. Yeah, I got my TV a few years ago, so it's probably. I don't even know how big it is. I don't even remember. People are always saying, "What's your PC? What's the?" I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember specs. I just don't. No, sorry, I don't go there often. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Stella. 2015, you would have paid 5K for a 65-inch 4K. Now you pay 1,500 for it. Yeah, but they keep coming up. There's always something that costs 5,000. Now it'll be this 90-inch 8K thing will be 5,000. They keep coming up with new ways to get you to spend more. Yeah, I agree, PBR. The low-end TVs tend to be pretty good. In fact, rumor has it the components all come from the same factory. Who knows? I think I've got a Sony. But yeah, but a few years ago, I actually had, what's the other technology? Plasma. I had a plasma TV. And it died once, and I got it fixed for almost, I don't know, it cost a couple $100 to fix it, which seemed. Hello, Mimsy. What are you doing? Pouring yourself a glass of water. That's amazing. No, that's actually young Ms. Angry. Mimsy, come and say hello. Come up here. Come on. You wanted to sit on my lap earlier today when I was in a meeting. You know, come and say hello to everyone. Come and say hello. Don't be rude. Everyone misses you. Come up on your perch then. Come up on your perch. Do something. Come up here. Or up here. One of the two. Gotta come and say hello to the people. There you go. Look! She hasn't been here in ages. It's Mimsy. It's Mimsy. Come and say hello to the people. Meow. I like that, Safa. You put a VHS player to a 4K and it was super blurry. I'm sure it would have been. Abigail, you replaced a 10-year-old Hisense. Just as bad quality compared to computer. Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, God. PBR and Stella. Throw a bucket of water on you two, obviously. Oh, yeah. Mimsy really likes the scratches. Stella, she sat on my lap for like half an hour today. I put a picture on the socials. I was sitting at my workstation. She just jumped on my lap. Didn't you? I didn't actually have any meetings, so I was okay with you sitting there for a while. Oh, she loves attention. Look at that. Yes. No, this is the first time she's come into the live stream in ages, and she's enjoying herself immensely. What are you looking for now? There's no food there. Ever since a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago now probably, I was cutting up some bacon and I dropped a bit on the floor and I left it there and she was there and she went to sniff it and I didn't know if she even liked it. And she sniffed it and she really liked it. And ever since then, she hovers around the kitchen hoping I'm going to drop some more food. Oh, God, Shadowwise, you don't want a magic portal to give her treats. She never leaves you alone. I just joke that she sees Mrs. Angry as food lady because I don't feed her because once she thinks you feed her, she demands you feed her. So she's always very demanding to Mrs. Angry. for food. But she doesn't bother me with that. But you bother me for scratches, don't you? Yes. Yes. Scratches from me, which makes her pretty happy if she's in the mood. Safa is Mimsy skinny. She's fairly skinny. She's fairly old. She used to be much fatter. And she got old. I think it's a sign of old age to lose weight. Who knows how long you'll be with us? We don't even really know how old she was because we got her as a rescue. She'd already had a litter of kittens when they got her at the animal shelter. So I don't know, she's at least 15 years old. But we don't really know for sure how old she is. Yeah, Shadow, your kitty sees you as food lady too. That's what they do. Safi, YouTube don't think 720 is HD anymore. No, it starts at 1080. Stella, when you're going to start losing weight. I'm not sure it works for humans. That's what Mrs. Angry said, that Mimsy's getting old and her health is failing, and that's why she's losing weight. And so we don't know how long she'll be with us even. That's okay. Ooh, okay. I'm remembering that, Sue. I said when you get old, you lose weight, so I must be young. I am younger than you. Actually, I got a very interesting thing at work, talking to one of the guys at work, and he's saying about his kids who are, one was preschool, one was primary. And I just mentioned about my kids, and he goes, like, how old are your kids? Like 19 and 22. And he just went, what? What? And he was really surprised. So apparently I'm at least like 10 years older than he thought I was. So there you go. That's good, clean Christian living for you. Yeah, keep your youthful looks. So just, but always. It never changes. So yes. So after she doesn't hog the heater. We have ducted heating in the floor. She hugs it. Oh my God, she loves the heat. So like we're still getting nice sunny days. So when it's sunny, she finds a spot out in the garden that's sunny, and we'll just lie there in bliss. And before it gets sunny, like in the morning and late at night, she'll actually, it's still that warm. The heater doesn't come on at night. It will come on for a bit in the mornings. She'll just hug one of the heat vents on the floor, and she just loves it so much. I mean, yes, if you're looking for something special in a partner, you want a partner who loves you as much as Mimsy loves the heat vents, because she really loves the heat vents. And so does Shadow, for that matter. They both seem like they're trying to hug the vents when they're lying on them. Like, this is the best thing ever. I love this so much. And Mimsy loves the summer sun, like when the concrete gets heated up by the summer sun in the afternoon. She just loves sprawling on the concrete and getting the heat that's radiating up from the concrete. Because we're still getting some decent sunny weather, like, 20 Celsius and sunshine interspersed with cooler days, and we're getting less of the 20 days and more of the cooler days. But yeah, Mimsy loves going out in the garden and getting in a spot of sunshine and just soaking up some vitamin D, don't you? Yes, you do. She is a big lover of the warmth. Occasionally find her burrowed under the bedclothes on the bed, which is very weird. Like I went to sit on the bed once. I think I was like changing my shoes. I was going to go sit on the bed, and there was this weirdly Mimsy-shaped lump on the bed and just about where I would have sat. Oh, what? And I thought, it's my imagination. Do you really be there? And I poked the lump, and it went, meow. Oh, okay, it is Mimsy. And so I was careful not to sit on her. And I went and found Mrs. Angry because I thought, as a joke, she must have put the covers over Mimsy, and Mimsy was too lazy to move. And she said, no, I didn't do that. When I left her, she was up near where the pillows are. She's just done that. She's burrowed down under the covers because that's where she wanted to be. So I was like, oh, fair enough. Weird cat. Stella, your cat sit behind the wood heater. Yeah, that seems a bit much. But I guess they know what they're doing. Shut up, I think she's an old lady. She's allowed to be cold. Yes, that's apparently a thing. And Luke, you're getting a second monitor cable. Ooh, hyped. Getting a rig happening. Yeah, I can never be bothered to try and split. I don't really have the desk space for 2 monitors. My desk is built to house 1 monitor. And my day workstation behind me there. Always get it backwards. Just 1 monitor. Which is weird because when I'm in a workplace, I always want 2 monitors. But when I'm home, I don't care. And I just work with 1 monitor. I don't know why. That's just the way it is. Are you happy to have seen everything? You want to learn the scratch? Because I'm going to go to bed. And she likes sleeping on me when I go to bed. Because Mrs. Angry won't let her sleep on her, will she? And this one will sit next to me. Not on me. But you see next to me, don't you? Or between. If I lie on my back, she gets like between my ankles. So it's like something of security having a leg either side of her. But and stay like that. So she sleeps next to me, don't you? You big sook. Mimsy's a big sook. Loves attention. Anywho, now she's just going to rub her head on me. I'm going to go to bed. Mimsy's going to go to bed. It's very nice of her to come and see us for the first time in forever. So I hope you all look after yourselves in these weird and strange times we live in, because it is weird and strange. And I'm going to do James Bond, but not shaken, not stirred. No, I don't know where Ian Fleming came up with that. You stir cocktails. You stir martinis, I should say. You shake things that have citrus in them or anything else that you want to mix in. Like I sometimes shake ones if I've got sugar syrup to make sure it's going in, because I'm never really sure stirring actually mixes it in. Yes, you only shake when there's something to like juice to go in it. If it's just a pure booze cocktail, you stir it. You don't shake it. So I'm going to have some stirred martinis tomorrow, and I'm not going to. I've had a taste of each. Maybe I will do a blind taste test of them. A blind taste and see if I can tell the difference. That'd actually be a bit of fun because I've had a taste of these different ones and they've got their distinct character. Let's see if I can get them with a blind taste and decide which one actually makes the best martini, which is, of course, only ever going to be a personal preference. There's no such thing as objectively the best. It's just like what you like the most. Anywho, I hope you find people, look after yourselves. Hope to see you again soon. So we'll make tomorrow night martini night and all Australian martini. Well, Tanqueray is not Australian, but it's the odd duck. The vermouth I'm going to use is Australian. I'm going to do a bit of research. Everyone has their own opinion on the proper proportions for a martini. My man here says 1.5 ounces gin, 3/4 ounce vermouth, dash of orange bitters, optional but desired. That's an interesting touch. I wonder that. So yeah, okay. He says twice as much gin as vermouth, and I think some say even, and some argue far less. Some argue far less vermouth compared to the gin. Might do a bit of comparison, reading some recipes before I decide which way I'm doing it. Look after yourself, find people. I'm going to go for now.